So this is a short video to talk about how it is that animators can enter and win prizes at film festivals. And this is something that I've been doing rather a lot, both on behalf of students at Animation Apprentice and also at Escape Studios and of course the online MA at Bucks New University. And for about 1.5 years now, I've been using this particular platform called Freeway, which has now become the dominant platform for entering student films into film festivals. And it's very interesting to figure out how to do this because actually, entering your film into festivals can bring an awful lot of benefits, and it can be done at very, very low expense. So I'm going to share with you my secrets of how I've been doing this for student films over the last 18 months. And the number one thing to do is to, obviously, first of all, the number one secret of winning prizes in film festivals is make sure your film is really good. So that's for a separate video. That's, how do you make a short film really good? But there are some other kind of tips and tricks that I can offer you to maximize your chances of winning in festivals. Tip number one is make a teaser trailer. Curiously enough, there are many categories for teaser trailers, and I'm talking about non-existent projects, right? A teaser for a fake trailer, a fake teaser. For a film, for a project that you might be working on that is not completed yet, but that you might make, perhaps if there's enough interest in your teaser trailer, you might make the film. And there's a lot of opportunity out there to enter categories in film festivals all around the world. And many of those categories are free to enter because one of the key things about Film Freeway is you can, there's a slider. You can decide how much you want to spend at Film Freeway. And many of the teaser trailer festivals are free, or the cost of entering is just a few dollars. So you can get a lot more bang for your buck that way. It's an easier path to success. Another top tip, important thing to do is keep your films short. Festivals like short films because they can fit more of them in a schedule. If they've got an hour for their short films, they're much more likely to fit you in if your short film is 1, 2, or 3 minutes than it is if it's 10 or 15. So your chances are better if your film is shorter. There are also a lot of film festivals that are interested in films that are 60 seconds long or perhaps under 2 minutes. And again, that category can be one that is much cheaper to enter. Now, one of the things you'll find at Film Freeway when you get used to the interface is that there's a slider where you can decide how much you want to spend. And what I recommend doing is decide in advance how much money you want to spend. So let's say you've made your short film, and over the course of a year, because remember this stuff is all on a 1-year cycle, you're unlikely to get really good results faster than about a year. It's on a sort of 1 to 2 year rolling cycle. So when you start entering in films, expect the whole thing to take about 24 months, and you're going to be hitting your kind of peak festival success sometime after the first year. But decide how much you want to spend. So over 2 years, maybe you want to spend $1,000. Maybe you've got a budget of $500 a year to enter your film into festivals and win. But there are literally hundreds, maybe even thousands of festivals out there. So you want to be thinking about the ones that are cheaper. And you can take that slider at Film Freeway right down to just a few dollars. And there are lots of festivals. First of all, there are lots of festivals you can enter that are free. Now those are obviously the most competitive ones because there's an awful lot of people entering those free festivals. But if you just take the slider up a couple of notches to $1 or $2, you will find an awful lot of festivals which will allow you to enter for $1, $2, or even $3. And those can be easier to win because there's less competition. Less people there are less people who want to spend a little bit of money than there are who want stuff that is completely for free. Another thing that is really worth trying is entering. If you go to Film Freeway, excuse me, and you enter the keyword monthly, you'll find that there are many monthly film festivals out there. Now this is a way of getting much faster results. So if you want your time cycle to be quicker and you want to start winning awards and prizes earlier, you can go for the monthly film festivals. And some of those again can be very inexpensive to enter, even free. Maybe $5, maybe $10. For student films, I'm on a pretty tight budget and I have a lot of films to enter mainly through Escape Studios. So I rarely spend more than $5 to $10 on a festival, unless it's one where I know that they like our house style. But the monthly festivals, you get a much faster feedback. You're gonna find out basically a month if you've won an award. And that brings me to the most crucial next point, which is you want to find the festivals that like your house style. Now, obviously, if you're making a film for the first time, that's more difficult. But for example, at Escape Studios, we have a kind of house style of the films we make. They're not particularly political. They don't have a particularly strong social conscience. They're mainly about kind of creating fun, entertaining characters, particularly in a visual effects environment. They're quite kind of commercially oriented. Most of the films we make, these characters could, in theory, have a kind of commercial life as a TV series or a movie or a game. So those are the kind of festivals that we're targeting. Are the festivals that like that kind of filmmaking, because every festival is different. Every festival has its own particular likes and dislikes. Some of them are very political. Some of them lean heavily to the left. None that I've ever found that lean heavily to the right. They're always left-leaning, and nothing wrong with that. But if your film fits into that category, then that's great. If it doesn't, then you might want to avoid those festivals. So Film Freeway is very much about, you've got to kind of find your niche, find what kind of festivals like your work. And to do that, you want to start with the cheap ones. Don't be spending lots of money, unless, of course, you've got a big budget that you can afford to blow. You want to start with the cheap ones, start with the monthlies, see what kind of results you're getting, and gradually build up. Now, the other thing to remember is that it's not all about Film Freeway. There are many, many festivals that don't run their projects, their festivals through Film Freeway, particularly the big ones. The Oscars, for example, although to get a film into the Oscars, you still have to have a theatrical run, that can be a difficult hurdle to overcome. But for the BAFTAs, you don't, and that's a separate application. That's not at Film Freeway. You've got to apply. If you want to apply for a BAFTA or a student BAFTA, you've got to do that one directly through their own website. One of the nice things about Film Freeway is that it's very, very easy to track your projects, because you can go to your projects menu, see how many festivals you've entered. You can very easily find out which festivals have enjoyed your work, which haven't, which have rejected you, which have accepted you. And so you can start to find out which festivals have felt friendly to your kind of filmmaking. Whereas if you're going to apply outside of Film Freeway, then clearly you're going to need to keep spreadsheets. You're going to have to document which festivals you've entered, how much money you've spent, or which festivals have accepted you, which have rejected you. It can be quite a big operation. But the key message to take away from this video is there are big opportunities for student filmmakers out there to enter your film into festivals, and many benefits that come with that. One of the big benefits is once you start entering your project into festivals, you can set up an IMDb page, and IMDb, the IMDb doesn't like to list every film project that's ever been made. They only want to list the ones that are significant. But winning festival awards is a way of demonstrating that significance, adding value, showing value to IMDb, and making them more likely to list your project at the IMDb. And once you're listed at the IMDb, you can attach, of course, your own name to the project, the names of the other people who've worked on it, and so you start to get a professional profile, which is very important in the industry, because once you're listed at the IMDb, then that makes you kind of real in the eyes of the industry, right? It's part of your professional armor to demonstrate value to other people in the industry, to show that you're a serious contender. So those are some of the benefits of entering in project into festivals. It can be slightly addictive, can take up an awful lot of your free time, certainly has for me, but I think the results can be great. It's lovely to see the reactions of students when they win festival awards. It can be a great start to their career, and it's a great thing to be a part of that.